Good morning. If you have spaces near you that someone else can fill, would you raise a hand? I'm not seeing too many. There's a space here. There's a space here. There's a space here. There's a space close to the front. Yeah. So as people arrive, feel free to help them find a spot. Right. Sorry. Oh, yeah. There's another room even. We've been so full. Happy New Year. Good welcome. Glad you're here. This is our annual singing of Ring Out Wild Bells, which includes bells. So I'm going to ask, there are 4 different groups. These are the lightest bells. These are the quietest bells. I'm going to ask Carol to help pass these out. So if you'd be interested in ringing these bells, you will ring these bells the first time we come to the refrain and every time after. Right? So every time we come to the refrain, you'll be ringing these bells. Who's interested? Raise your hand and Carol will come pass them out. Okay, the second set of bells. Actually, okay, so who's got the number 1 bells? Hang on. Who's got the number 1 bells? Where are you? Let's try it. Here it sounds like this. Yeah, go ahead and make some sound with them. Yeah. You can make some serious sound. They're light. Your group 1, you play on every refrain. Group 2, the group 2 doesn't play till the second time we come to the refrain. And after. Here's the group 2 bells. There's just 4 different ones. Who's interested in bells for group 2? I'll give you a hint. The bells are getting bigger as we go. Okay, group 2 bells. Group 2 bells, where are you? Group 2, who just got theirs. So this one, this is a set. That's a pair. They go. Oh, okay. Okay. So where are the group 2 bells? Where are you? Group 2. Group 2, go ahead and ring your bells. Group 2. Yep. Jingle, 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 jingle. All right, here comes group 3 from Beth. So Beth, that doorbell one gets the clapper. The doorbell one gets the clapper. Here's group 3. Now this is group 3 that Beth is passing out. So you play the 3rd time we get to the refrain, and after that when we get to the refrain. Okay, there's one more group. This is the group 4. This is group 4. You play the 4th time we get to the refrain, and after that. Plus, there's one more that will be up here. Hey, Beth, would you just leave that one right in the basket? Yep. And just hand the whole basket. Yep. You can hand the whole basket, right? Yep, hand that, yep. Mm-hmm. Anyone for the gong? Up by the piano. So Rain, when it's time, you're on the 4th refrain. You're the 4th time and thereafter. Paul, are you giving up your cowbell? Is this your cowbell? Oh, that's Paul's cowbell. And I'm asking one choir member to play the really big chimes, just to take the bottom clapper and do this. One choir member to do the big. So this will be the 4th time we get to the refrain. All right, so where are my ones? Raise your hand. So when the choir holds up a 1 finger and we get to the first refrain, you play. And the next time we come to refrain, the 1s and the 2s play. Where are you, 1s and 2s? And the next time we come to it, the 1s and 2s and 3s all play. And the next time we come to it, the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, everybody's in. Got it? Are we ready? So I invite the instant choir. Toby is sick today, I'm sorry to say. So he wasn't able to be here for instant choir, but I invite our instant choir to come on up. I invite everyone to rise in body or in spirit as your body will allow, and to sing.
There's a reason.
That's about as loud as we get, by the way.
All right.
We'll know if you shame them. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Talk about a hard act to follow. With this basket of black oak acorns, we express our heartfelt love and the desire that the people, the Nissan people, can relieve and we relieve themselves, and we can help them capture their heritage and support all the efforts thereby and under their guidance and by their request. I want to say a couple of things. I'll do better not reading. Just my own experience before I got involved with UU about a year ago, and then a time that I wasn't involved. But I was working with the Quakers in Grass Valley. And they were, at that time, it was all about the engagement of the woman's school, had nothing to do with sale to the Nisanan. And it was quite a struggle and a battle. And it's a group of people who are very committed to something that didn't exist anymore, really. The school was pretty much gone. What's going to happen? There was debt involved. Seemed like a sort of difficult and almost impossible situation. Could there be a solution? And I was in some meetings with some Quakers who were trying to help out with the school. And then someone mentioned the idea that this was a national organization, and the woman there on the conversation said, this is the most brilliant thing imaginable, talking about the effort with the Nisanan. And I stayed with this for a while as well. Minor part, but what really happened in part is a lot of people here had a lot to do with what is happening with the Nisanan. And it's in a place where we are wringing out some love and justice. And it makes me proud to be here with you all. Thank you.
Good morning. Can I start?
Yeah.
Come, you accidental pilgrims, you who find yourself on a journey of surprise and wonder.
Come, you who emerge into this place as an act of liberation.
Come, you who seek a life of mindfulness and a place to test your thoughts.
Come, you who bring hearts of all kinds, heavy hearts, rusty hearts, hearts broken open in revelation, hearts full of love to share.
Come, you who seek courage, and you who have more courage than you realize.
Come, you who stand behind the curtain, gathering up the resources to claim your truth.
Come, you who have been in a bubble, you who have posed for transformation.
We begin our story again, gathering courage, love, mindfulness, and a sense of purpose.
We gather as people of all ages, of different abilities, different backgrounds, and different perspectives.
Thank you, Katz and Ruth. I realize that so often we sing our children on their way to Kids Connection, and then we greet each other, which means the children aren't here, and neither are some of their parents sometimes. So today, we're gonna greet each other first. So I invite you to make sure that everyone around you is greeted warmly and well, and at the very least, say hello.
Let's sing the children on their way. Welcome and good morning. Welcome to this January gathering at the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains. I am Carol Nimick, assisting Reverend Kev this morning, Reverend Kevin Tarsa. I am from a small red brick house, white bread sandwiches, a green Buick with a roll window between the seats. I'm from the edge of scary woods, streets filled with capture the flag games, alleys of catalpa trees. Their pods were really good to smoke. I am from bush forts, hourly train whistles, a real penny candy store right down the street. I am from Mammy, Munder, and Baba, my grandparents. I am from a place where we were lucky duck snakes and whippersnappers. I am from Daddy Goulash, red Jell-O salad, and boxed cake mixes. I am from a blinding hailstorm at Pinchot Pass at 13,000 feet. Story is January's theme. The ability to tell a new story has been at the center of Unitarian Universalism from its beginning. In addition to story being important to the history of the church, knowing our own stories and sharing them and expressing them is essential. Brené Brown says, "I now see how owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we ever do." Thank you for being here this morning, whether in the room or on Zoom, and for bringing yourself, your spirit, and your story. Stephen Moffat acknowledges, we're all stories in the end. May our stories start unwinding. Welcome.
In the Cider Sunday service a couple weeks ago, at the very edge of the new year, people were invited to reflect on the year past and to look forward into what is to come, and to share what they saw at that moment. Today we pick up those threads, first by touching in with where we've come from, not through our linear, well-developed and analyzed stories of who we are and why, but instead through the gentle invitation to let a few memories of childhood objects, places, foods, people, and oft-repeated sayings surface without our trying too hard to find them, right? To let them surface. This is adapted from the work of Sean Gingrich in Hope and Healing in Urban Education. Those in the room have pieces of paper and pencils, or please raise your hands if you otherwise need paper and pencil with these poem pieces. Those on Zoom, Eileen will paste the prompts in the chat. Plus, the prompts will be up on the screen. Cypress, would you put up the slide, please, and just leave it up for a while of the questions. Some of you have done this ahead of time, or have been doing it while you've been sitting there before the service or as the service was starting. My invitation is to follow these prompts very, very simply. For example, to name 3 objects from childhood. Today, I am from birthday cake sparklers, warm cherry lugs, and a worn garden hoe. I encourage you to accept the first images and notions that arise in your thoughts with the understanding that what arises has something to say to you. The wonderful thing I have found about these prompts is that every time I do them, different objects come up, different people, different memories come up, meaning that this is a chance to see what's present to us in the moment we're doing it. So we'll begin with a little silence for those of us who process best in silence, and then I'll play a little bit of music to accompany you. But so I invite you to, as we're doing that, fill out your lists if you so choose. And I invite us to hold each other in that silence as we do. Here's what I will invite. Invite a handful of people, some in the room and some on Zoom, to share your entire poem, especially if you've kept to that template and it hasn't become a couple pages long. So a few people willing to come up front and share your entire poem. Who might that be in the room? Kern is ready. I'm thinking especially people we don't hear from often. Or Kern, Teresa, one more from the room. One more from the room. And Bob. Kern, would you come on up? If you're comfortable at the pulpit, that's best. I want you to take it in.
I am from open fields, neighbors, and street kickball. I am from lawn and swing and trees. I am from my neighborhood school, living in a campus town, and the Saturday matinee. I am from Ma, Pa, Ross, and Joan. I am from dinner. I am from fruit pie, roast beef, and wheat germ. And I am from outdoor leadership at a young age.
Are you comfortable here? Is this comfortable?
Oh, yes. I am from dogs, cats, and fish tanks, a real menagerie. I am from the cherry tree, the back alley, and the driftwood log. I am from Arlene's house, Fremont School, and the penny candy store. I am from Mama Ruth, Mama Teresa Marguerite, Otto, Vi, and Diane. I am from Have You No Pride? I am from fried potatoes, abalone, and scallops. I am from 76 years of vacationing at Pismo Beach.
I am from cast iron skillet, window air conditioner, and the hook and ladder fire truck. I am from the avocado tree, the sandbox, and the redwood picnic table. I am from the Triangle Market, Blaisdell Park, and Bud's Bike Shop. I am from my sisters, Bonnie, Beverly, and Barbara. I am from wait until your father gets home. I am from barbecued chicken and fresh avocados right off the tree. I am from camping with my family.
I am from poppies and lupin, the Pacific Ocean, and foggy mornings. I'm from the woods, granite rocks, and starry nights. I'm from winding creeks, mountain trails, and tall trees. I'm from Marilyn and Vincent, Agnes and Bill, Mary and Frank. I'm from Clean Your Plate. I'm from iceberg lettuce salads, Lucky Charms, and green apples. I'm from walking into a UU church for the first time at age 36.
Thank you, each of you. And now there are folks on Zoom willing to read theirs that we can spotlight and unmute. I think Robin is ready. Oh, there's Eileen.
I am from
Can't
Salamanders.
hear you yet, Eileen. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Now try.
I am from
Not
Salamanders.
quite yet. One more time.
I am from salamanders under rocks and a broken peach tree. I am from irises and grandmother cedar and chickens across the street. I am from the roaming paths of bucks and bears and the next door house with the leap day twins with their photo in the Union. I am from women pharmacists, a farmer, a mechanical engineer, and a 16-year-old suicide who was brave and troubled. I am from Don't Wear Out Your Welcome. I am from rigatoni, aka rabbit pellets, and meatloaf. I am from 10 days in jail in Santa Rita, but not with Joan Baez. Oakland October Induction Center sit-ins, 1967. And I am from dropping out of Mills College and bumming around Berkeley in 1968.
Thank you, Eileen. I think Robin is ready too. Oh, I'm not hearing you yet, Robin. Oh, still not yet. Yeah, thank you, Cypress.
Okay. I am from living room, picture window, radiator, Tinker Toys. I am from Dad's vegetable garden, sled, chestnut tree. I am from pizza parlor, summer fireflies, fall leaves. I am from mom, dad, older sister, younger brother, dog lady, and parakeets, ladybird, and spunky. I am from never tell a lie, always be honest. I am from New York pizza, strawberry shortcake, tuna noodle casserole. I am from deciding to be an artist at the age of 3.
Robin, thank you. Is there one more person on Zoom that's willing and ready? I'll look to Eileen to help us know. Gail. So I think Cypress will invite you to unmute. Oh, no, not Gail. No need to spotlight Gail, it sounds like. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to invite you to share a single line from your poem. So we'll do a whole series of single lines, just one of the many there. And Carol and I will take microphones around. So we'll have both the wireless ones on, Andy. And if you've got a line you want to read, raise your hand. We'll do a series of single lines.
I'm from 3 pink baby pictures, 1 missing.
You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
I am from the Iowa Valley Elementary Band.
Daddy was in the war.
I am from Watermelon from the truck and the summer playground.
I'm from Yabba Dabba Doo.
I'm from Mon Petit Pichnan.
I am from brownies, banana bread, and liver.
I'm from oak tree, my wall, my redwood tree, and my ginkgo trees.
I am from being sent away to camp at 8 years old for 8 weeks.
Couple more.
I am from the Cliff House, Playland, and Sutro Park.
I am from oranges, smog, and malls.
I'm from anxiously awaiting for the ice cream truck to come down the street with my nickel burning in my hand.
I'm from Mother May I, You're It, red light, green light.
I'm from coming of age in Berkeley in the 60s.
I am from duck and cover under my school desk and never knowing why, but there was this, except that there was a very huge danger around and I never knew what it was.
One more. Here's Dorothy.
Station wagon, summer road trips, no AC.
I am from nearby beach,
a lagoon frozen for ice skating in the winter, and street stickball baseball.
Isn't this lovely? Like it's so simple, right? It's so simple and revealing. I think both to ourselves and to other people. What gets remembered, what gets chosen? The sayings really stand out, don't they? The things we heard often in our life. Thank you for your willingness. Eileen, did anyone submit theirs in the chat that you'd be willing to read a few individual lines?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Julia Park Tracy. I am from metal monkey bars over concrete and dichondra that we weren't allowed to walk on. And also, wipe that smile off your face. From Karen Kopening, I am from San Diego Zoo, marionettes and rump roast. Gail Schultz, from Camille Gibran's Look to This Day. And Anne Lyon, I am from a brass fender in front of the fireplace, a flight of stairs up to 3 bedrooms, a piano in the living room.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. After the service, as you're willing, I invite you to share your poems with other people or fragments of it that feel comfortable in that moment. I had floated out the idea of writing one as if UUCM was speaking, as if this congregation was speaking. I am from, Gail Johnson-Vaughn was my single respondent. So we're going to hang on, and in a couple of weeks we'll do that. Ask the people who've been here since 2005 or earlier what their childhood memories of the congregation would be. So we'll put together one for later. So Cyprus, there's a slide of that bird, this Sankofa. Sankofa is a Shui word from the Akan tribe of Ghana that loosely translates as go back and get it. Its literal translation comes from an Akan proverb meaning, it is not taboo to go back for what you forgot or left behind. This image of a bird, would you keep that up a little bit longer, Cypress? Thank you. This image of a bird facing forward while reaching backward to pick up a valuable egg is one visual symbol of Sankofa. It's important to note that it's difficult to understand the meaning, the full meaning of words and sayings from cultures that are not one's own. The meaning of Sankofa that has been offered in the West names the importance of recognizing and picking up the necessary pieces of our past, the things we actually need to pick up to be able to move forward well. In other words, there's some treasures back there or some things we need to encounter in order to move forward well. So before we make that turn from looking back, so this I am from poem is a chance to say, where have we come from? If we're looking at our personal story, it's this almost playful way to get us back there, right? Before we make the turn to what's coming up in the future, a song, the gift of Betsy Hayden's music and part of Betsy's story, Family Tree.
Leaving land of my birth, ancestral roots secure in the earth. That restless feeling deep, deep down inside, tidal motion, saying my goodbyes. As Papa's sun slips on down the sky and gently kisses dear old Mama night, I see Goodbye, rivers. Just one more last time. Goodbye, dancing clouds, way above the pine. Goodbye, tender fruit, tender from your vine. Oh, full of grace, my sense of place in heart and mind. When the stars witness my return, while the years of constant change did burn, and all the bittersweet of kinship I had learned, well, to find serenity was my concern. Climbing peaks, crossing seas, fire and flood, snow and ice, 25, and the years go by. With times to reap and sow, times to laugh and cry. The family tree grows with each new ring, and every life becomes a song for us to sing. Hello, rivers. It's been a long, long time. Hello, dancing clouds away above the pine. Hello, tender fruit so fresh from off your vine. Oh, full of grace, my sense of place in heart and mind.
Beautiful. Betsy, thank you. See if I've got this right. Betsy explained to me that this is a song written over many, many, many years, and it was first centered in the goodbyes, right? But then life kept winding, and there came a return that got woven into the song as well. As we're thinking about what's in our hearts and minds this morning, I know the fires and the people and animals and places affected are very close for some of us. Places that some of you have lived, people who are family members or close friends. You're seeing places on the TV that you know really well from your own life. So I invite us just to pause for a moment. This is not the new reality of California in terms of fires, but really potent, a really potent sense of loss. So I invite us to lift up in our silence our own prayers, our own commitments, our own intentions to do the good that we can in the midst of it all. I invite you to breathe as if your entire body is breathing. With all that you hold. Aware that everything that's happened in your life, all the elations, the hurts, the surprises, the tragedies, the unexpected joys, the everydayness, that's all already happened. And each in-breath, each cycle of in and out breath is an invitation to enter this moment, the one that's right here now. Each breath is an invitation to begin again, now. And to notice what's arising in this moment, and this one, and this one. In the spirit of this moment, I invite you, if you're in the room, if you wish, to take a stone and put it in the bowl of water here up front. A symbol of all that you hold, and also a symbol that you are not alone. On Zoom, I invite you to type into the chat some piece of what's with you today, or a 0 or O as your own stone. Invite the rest of us to hold the silence together. As people come forward, George is here from the lay pastoral care team to be witness. May what's here and now for you be present enough for you to feel and see it, and to know where and who you are. Yay for our instant choir. So every year about this time for the past number of years, I've invited everyone to choose a word for the year. A word to travel with, to accompany. Yeah, I'm seeing looks on faces. So Beth briefly shares a common story.
Before I reflect on last year's word, I want to talk about this year's word, how and why I selected it. I've been selecting a word of the year each January for many years. Often, it's been hard to choose just one finalist from the large pool of contenders. But other years, I've struggled to connect with anything that truly resonates as the word. Sometimes, though, like this year, a single word bubbles up, unbidden, unexpected, and unquestionably appropriate. This year's word, making its appearance unprecedentedly early in November, is grace. I've been recently noticing the omnipresence of grace in my life as I navigated the throuple wedding of my daughter, witnessed the sudden, unexpected death of a dear friend, and experienced the discomfort of losing my cell phone's SIM card in a grocery store in Mexico, among other things. I imagine as the year ahead progresses, especially with the disappointment and fear of a second Trump presidency looming large and ominous, I will be called on again and again to walk with grace, speak with grace, to extend grace from myself to my family, my community, and beyond. For today, though, back to my word from last year. Maybe first, actually, a confession. While my intentions have always been to carry my word of the year in untold significant ways, meditations, essays, poetry, art, possibly even interpretive dancing, all integrating my special word, I usually fall way, way short. And when December rolls around again each year, I find myself figuratively smacking my forehead and vowing to do a better job honoring my next year's word, to pay better, closer attention to where it's showing up for me and how it helps shape my experiences. This past year has been such a doozy, I actually have no recollection of what my word even was. Did I even choose one? I don't know. So back to grace. Grace, which for me encompasses compassion, forgiveness, and the wisdom that we can never fully know what each of us might be carrying that causes us to behave the way we do. I'm starting this year off with as much grace as I can muster, and I'll first be extending it to the one person in my life who could use it the most, me.
Testimonial. Anybody else forget your word for the year? All right. A common story. I have often forgotten mine, so this last year, I put on a little bright colored card on both sides. My word is clarity, and I just moved it around the house. At least once a week I moved it. Dining room table, bathroom counter, on top of my stack of books, on the washer. I just moved it around so I could keep encountering it at new places and remember to ask, oh, yeah, what am I seeking clarity about? Or what's blocking clarity for me? So in case that helps, just a little tool. So why invite these structured poems and why invite a word for the year? Each of these, I would offer, is a potential spiritual practice to support our finding and staying present, anchored in and responsive to the here and now, right? To keep us present, as opposed to our fears for the future or concerns about the past, especially in the months ahead, as Beth mentioned. For the past 2.5 years, I've been diving more and more deeply into my own awareness of myself. Right? Clarity, that's what I was seeking, personal, internal clarity. And just this past week, when my spiritual director began our session with the usual invitation to close my eyes, to breathe, to center, to take time to feel how the spirit of life is wanting to move through me, and to sense what I most wanted from our time together, I had no answer for what I wanted from our time together. What I did have was a very physical sensation of strong, bright, uncomfortable, active energy, very low in my belly. And then just above it, across and through my abdomen, an inch-thick layer of barrier, the consistency of heavy car tire rubber, right? Flexible, but not about to let anything through. And it was clear to me that that strong, bright energy below was trying to get through, was trying to press through or push through and up and into my heart and voice and beyond. So I explained, I don't have any words for how I want to use our time together or what I want from our time together, but this is what is present. And I described the sensation in my low belly and that barrier. And at one point in helping me spend time with that barrier, my spiritual director asked what that barrier might be if it were a person or an animal I could speak with. And very much to my surprise, the image that came back very clearly was of an alligator, or a crocodile maybe, snarling, snapping suddenly and powerfully at anything that was trying to get through, right? There. Now, over my 60+ years of having been led in many, many guided meditations in which someone has invited me to encounter a person or an animal to help reveal a part of myself, it's almost always been something soft and fuzzy. For me, never once in all these years has it been a reptile, let alone an alligator. I could feel that this small, ferocious alligator, exactly as long as my abdomen is wide, by the way, though it was frightening in its ferocity, it was not malevolent. It was not harmful to me. It was trying to protect me, a very young me, from what must have once been the painful consequences of having brought my full, most energized and authentic self to the surface and up and out and into the world. This is very old, my spiritual director said, from very early in your life, pre-verbal, a literal reptilian brainstem issue. My spiritual director invited me to befriend and hold and soothe that alligator, tenderly in the crook of my arm maybe, perhaps to stroke its belly, which, as she learned just 2 weeks earlier by petting a live baby alligator for the very first time in her life, is not hard and rough, but instead smooth, and as she put it, buttery. The point, of course, was ultimately to help that unconscious protective reaction in me to relax and ease, so it could allow eventually that alive, bright energy that was trying to get up, to get all the way up and into my heart and into my voice and into my head and to infuse who I am and how I am in the world. Joy, I could sense, would be an outcome of this, right? That's what I could feel as I imagined that possibility of that moving up. So as we ended our session later, I explained that I had this very strong, clear urge to go buy a soft, fuzzy toy alligator. And we laughed. of all the alligators and crocodiles at the Mercantile in downtown Grass Valley. This is not yet. This is the alligator that spoke to me exactly the width of my abdomen. It is soft, and dare I say, its belly is buttery. We've been spending time together to surprisingly meaningful effect. Really surprisingly, right? Spending time with this, soothing that piece of myself. Now, I know that some of you will totally get this and groove on it, and that others will think that this is all a bit out there. The reason I share this very fresh story this morning is to point out that a poem that invites us to pull up seemingly random images from childhood, or a suggestion to personify or zoomorph a sensation in our body, or the idea of choosing a word for the year as a travel companion, they all have chances to lead us somewhere we would not get to if we just rely on our usual stories and our familiar analysis and approaches and our well-worn repeated understandings of who we are and why. It can be difficult to get to something new by taking the same old runs at it. In part through the unexpected connections that they surface, and often their playfulness, these kinds of spiritual practices can guide us beneath the surface toward a deeper understanding of what's going on inside of us, especially if it's pre-verbal or non-verbal. I encourage you to keep on playing with your poem, not to fine-tune it so that it's a final work of art to present to other people, though that has its own kind of value, but rather to keep playing with it for your own sake. Once in a while, pull it out again and see what images come to the surface in that moment, and see where those images and memories take you. In the spirit of Sankofa, they may hold important items you need to go back and pick up or attend to from the past in order to move forward well. I encourage you to consider claiming and traveling with a word for this year, and to give yourself time, till the end of the month, I suggest, to feel out what that word is. Not the word you identify through careful lists of pros and cons, or shoulds and oughts, or because you know it would be good for you, but the word that keeps on sneaking up on you and whispering in your ear, or that keeps startling you as you round corners, or that climbs up gently and quietly on your chest, or your belly, or your shoulder as you're going to sleep. In other words, let a word for the year find you. Or maybe it's an image, or a symbol, or an animal. A word or an image that has something to say to you, and you don't know what that something is yet, right? All you know is it's present to you, has something to say, and the journey then becomes finding out what it has to say. This congregation sets as its mission, with courageous love and a sense of wonder, to cultivate our spiritual, emotional, and intellectual strength in order to cultivate a world more compassionate, more sustainable, and more just. That mission is vital right now. In our series of services this month, today we moved close in to the very personal, knowing the importance of starting here if we are to be most present, if we are to be most authentic, if we are to be of greatest service to the world, starting close in. So may each of us be.
Our local community partner this month is Sierra Roots. Here with us this morning is Nick Wilcek, a Sierra Roots board member. to tell us more about their vision to listen to and collaborate with chronically homeless persons, to help them define and meet their needs in community they may call home. Nick, welcome and thank you for coming.
Good morning, everybody. That was nice. So this is the third time I have been welcomed here to speak on behalf of Sierra Roots, and it is something that I have come to look forward to every year. It's always such a really wonderful experience, and really, I have found really good for my soul to be here. So I appreciate the opportunity. As I start, I just want to talk a little bit about the idea of grace. And it's something that was kind of my word for the past year in terms of asking for when needed, and also offering all the time. This acknowledgement that, like, you know, everyone's doing the best they can, even when it's not so good. And so with that being said, I was initially scheduled to be here last week, and I no-showed a whole congregation. And I appreciate the grace of this room on that so incredibly much, and think it is such a germane word of the year. So thank you all very much. My name is Nick Wilcek. I'm a board member with Sierra Roots. Sierra Roots is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to building relationships with chronically homeless folks and really, on some level, helping folks meet the needs that they have to stay alive throughout the year. We are responsible for running the cold weather shelter. We are also really proud of weekly lunches we host. We do them at the church or outside, depending on weather, and we really focus on building relationships with people. We've also started some new partnerships with Tom Durkin and some of the work he does, in which we're really promoting arts among the homeless community and also working with a group called the Robin Hood Project, which works to provide housing for victims of domestic abuse. I know that sometimes in our community, it's easy not to see homeless folks or whatnot. We can avoid homeless folks to some extent in our lives if we're not looking, if we're not aware. I just want to share a story that we lost someone to exposure this year, and it's so easy to forget that that is something that happens in our small community. And this was a really close member with lots of support in the homeless community that we lost to the heat. I don't say that to be a downer, to anything like that. I say it more as a reminder that as we're going about our lives, these are very real things that are very present in our community and not removed or not somewhere else. They're things that are happening here. So really, I now I can feel that I'm going to leave this on a downer if I don't bring it back around. So I guess, you know, as we're thinking of grace on the year, it really is just keeping in mind that folks end up homeless for lots of reasons. And I don't believe it's mine to judge any of those reasons. Again, we are all doing the best we can, even when it's not so great. And I think that's the really beautiful thing about this concept of grace, is allowing everybody to be who they are, even when struggling, and that we're here as a community to help everybody. So I really appreciate the feelings in this room when I get to be here every year. It's always a joy for me. And just thank you all so much. I appreciate this. Thank you. Okay.
We pass these baskets to Phil with our community expression of gratitude for all we have and are able to share with a local nonprofit that has similar values. It is in giving that we receive. May we be thankful for this opportunity to share. Thank you for your generosity and for your giving. We dedicate these offerings to the ideal of a relationship-based community in which all have a place to heal and to call home, both at Sierra Roots and here in our Unitarian Universalist community. Thank you.
Special thanks to our people who are up with our young ones for Kids Connection. Please say hi to Lindsay and Corey when you see them. Betsy, thank you for the really beautiful music. Yeah. Instant Choir, thank you. Thanks for the one-stop shopping. Carol, thanks for being a worship associate. If your name is on this list for other things, would you please rise if your body will allow that? Is your name on this list for doing other things? They're mostly busy, I think, at this point. And I want to name that Shanti Emerson came extra early this morning so she could blow the walkways before the choir was rehearsing. She does all these Sundays out there beforehand with the hand blower, blowing the sidewalk. So there are so many things like that, where someone comes in and does those things on behalf of the congregation. Thank you. A few announcements for this week. A book group today. I hear it's a really fabulous book. Women's Circle on Monday. Buildings and Grounds Workday is moved to Friday this week, and Drawing with Jenny on Friday. Strategic Planning Workshop. You're all welcome to this next Saturday. Please RSVP. It'll help us know numbers, but thinking about where we are, looking back to look forward. Volunteers, there's going to be some more painting. You've noticed, right? The really beautiful changes in the entryway. Part 2 is going to happen January 29th to 31st. We're looking for a handful of people to come in, put either a half a day or a day in on the painting piece. So that would be really, really helpful. Community business meeting on the last Sunday of the month after the services. Make note of that on your calendar. And as always, the website, our newsletters can help you find out more. We're going to close with this song that, with a word that doesn't have content that our brains have to get around. Wa ya ya. Say, here we are at this threshold in the journey, with all that where we've come from and all where we're going that we don't know. So we'll get there. We know we'll get there. We're not sure exactly where that is. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and to sing.
Naming the Largest Truth by Reverend Southern. May the stories we tell name the largest truth of what was, of what is, and pull us forward to what should be, as stories were always meant to be. And with this, may we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. And if you're here in this building, please join us for refreshments down the hall. And everyone will see you next Sunday for the service. What now? More than ever.